Hi everyone, welcome to Rachel Pickler Yoga. My name is Rachel. Today our yoga practice is going to focus on building strength and flexibility throughout our body. So if you do have a block or a book that you can use, feel free to grab it. If not, that's okay too. Remember to subscribe to my channel, please, 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 if you haven't already. And let's get started. So we're going to start today just sitting down. If you have a block or book, just move it off to the side. When we're going to start sitting cross-legged. So if sitting cross-legged is something that's not comfortable for you, you can work on that right now. If you want to try something called lotus or half lotus, we're just trying to move our cross-legged stretch a little bit further. So you can take one foot and just rest it on top of your thigh, kind of towards that hip crease. Half lotus. So full lotus is bringing the other leg across and onto the other thigh. So I want you to try it out. We haven't warmed up at all, so this might not be accessible to you now, might be later, but just see what you can do. Maybe sitting cross-legged, maybe you're able to bring one foot on top of the thigh, and maybe you're able to bring that other foot on top of the thigh as well. So see how that feels, and then we're gonna switch sides. So cross your legs the other way, might feel a little awkward, and then we're just gonna take maybe that half lotus, switching sides, bring your foot on top of your thigh, stay here for a breath, and then maybe see what happens if you try to cross the other foot over top. Again, don't worry if you can't get there. It is a big stretch for those hips, the ankles, and the knees, a whole lot of lower body stuff going on to get into this position. So again, don't worry if you're not there. It's completely fine. So no matter how you've crossed your legs right now, we're uncrossing our legs. We're uncrossing everything. So just give yourself a little hug, bend your knees in towards your chest. We started with lotus because we are gonna finish with lotus. And I wanna do a few things today that help us just open the hips, the knees, the legs, the ankles, and to see what kind of progress we can make in these few minutes that this class actually is, and see how our lotus improves throughout. So maybe it will, maybe it won't. Come onto your hands and onto your knees. Find your tabletop position, and let's just warm up the spine a little bit. So spread the fingers nice and wide. We'll flow through our cat and our cow. Feel free to follow along with me or move at your own pace. If you're inhaling, drop the belly, lift the chest and the chin. And exhale, round the spine, squeeze the tummy, push into the palms, open those shoulders, the upper back, draw the chin to the collarbone. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, round. Few more. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. And exhale. One more. And exhale. Awesome, you guys. Slowly coming back to a nice flat back. We're going to tuck our toes under and lift up into downward facing dog. So just a few moments here to continue to warm up. Maybe take your dog for a little walk. Bending one knee. Straightening the other. Awesome, you guys. Now let's use an inhale to look forwards. Exhale, walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach up, look up. And exhale your hands through heart center and down to your sides. We're going to take our left foot and step it back on our mat. So setting up our pyramid stance. Hands to the hips. Both of our legs are going to stay fairly straight. Take an inhale. And an exhale to tip forwards. So you can come like halfway, just trying to feel stretch to the back of that front leg. Maybe you want to grab your block. But don't worry about going too crazy far just yet. We're still warming up. Again, trying to stretch the back of that front leg. If you used your block, just move it to the side and use an inhale to come all the way up. Exhale that left foot up. And step your right foot back. Set up that pyramid stance. Inhale. Exhale, tipping forwards. Again, find that nice stretch. Whew. Folding as far as feels right. Not here very long. And then using an inhale. Lift back up, exhale, your back foot to the top of your mat. So bring your feet together, legs together, knees together. Start to bend the knees, send the hips back. Utkatasana, chair pose. Just trying to get nice and warm. Breathe. Awesome work, you guys. Relax those shoulders. Draw the tummy in. One more inhale. And an exhale. Straighten your legs as you fold forwards. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale. Plant your hands. Step back into downward facing dog. Walking your feet together. Use an inhale and lift your right foot nice and high. Maybe trying to stack the hips. You can also bend that leg. Maybe looking underneath your right arm, trying to open up the hip a little. Feel side body stretch. Take one more inhale. If you bent the leg, start to straighten it. And as you exhale, that foot's coming all the way through to the top of the mat and between your hands, setting up a lunge. So you can lower the back knee down. You can keep it lifted, but let's just sink into the hips. Keep the chest down. You can look to your big toe. Awesome, you guys. So now using an inhale, you can look forwards. Exhale, bring your back foot to the top of your mat. Feet together if you can. Bend your knees, lower those hips. Inhale up into your chair. Breathe. Feel those legs working. Those shoulders are keeping those heavy arms up. Take one more inhale. Exhale, sink a little lower and inhale all the way up to standing. Relax, roll those shoulders back and down. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale for a halfway. Exhale, hands coming down to the mat, stepping back into your downward facing dog. Feet together. Inhale your left foot up. Three-legged dog, maybe stacking the hip, maybe bending the leg. One more inhale, straighten the leg if you bent it. Exhale, let's send that foot through, setting up the lunge. Take your time. Drop the knee if you want to, but just sink into those hips. Maybe you can be nice and light through your fingertips. One more inhale, start to look forwards. Exhale. Back foot up to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale your hands through heart center and to your sides. All right, you guys, let's step that left foot back again. You might want your block nice and close. So setting up that pyramid stance one last time. So hands to the hips, take an inhale. Exhale, start to tip forwards. Maybe the hands are coming to the block or the floor. Maybe you can go a little further than you did last time. But just as you get comfy, we're going to add a twist to this. We're trying to open up those hips. We're trying to set up for our lotus pose. So that outer right hip is going to get a really awesome stretch if we add this twist. So your hand can stay on your block beside your front foot. And you can start to open the chest to the right side. Bring your right hand to your hip and just think about pulling that hip back a little bit. We want to feel this through the outside of the leg. You can reach up if you want to reach up. Twist. Breathe. Nice job, you guys. Think about that right hip for a moment. See if you can pull it back a little bit further. Awesome job. One more inhale. And exhale. Release, fold forwards. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale, back foot to the top of your mat. Let's switch sides. Right foot back. Maybe your block is in the way. Take an inhale. Let's lengthen. Exhale. Fold. Fold. Stretch that front leg. So good. Nice job, you guys. All right, so either using the floor, or book, your block. Let's start to come into that twist. Right hand will stay down. We're turning towards the left, so towards that front leg. Place your hand on your hip and try to think about just sending it back a little bit. Open the chest to the left. Maybe looking up. Maybe looking down. Whatever feels good. We want to think about pulling that left hip back, stretching that entire outside hip, outside of the leg, everything. Awesome, you guys. One more inhale. Exhale. Let it go. Fold one more time. And then use an inhale to come all the way up to standing. Bring your foot to the top of your mat. All right, you guys. Moving along into our balancing work here. So a number of options coming at you. You can start with tree pose. Let's all stand on our right foot. Tree pose. If you need a wall, find a wall. Your foot is going to be on the inside of your leg, so anywhere but your knee. Tree pose. If you are going to come with me, we're just continuing to prep that lotus position. So you're just going to take your foot and place it on top of your quad, kind of close to that hip crease, and your knee is going to try to point down towards the floor. And you can hold that foot in place. It doesn't always just stay there. You have to hold it sometimes. Okay, so notice how that feels on that right hip, that leg. Also focusing on your balance. Okay, so one further option here, you guys, only if you are coming with me and your foot is on top. Woo, almost, okay, cheated. I almost went over. Only if your foot is in your hip crease or on top of your quad, we're gonna add a forward fold. If you want to, be mindful of your knee though. If your knee doesn't like it, stay standing nice and tall. So this might get a little wobbly, but your hands, oh, I should have had my block here. But you can add a forward fold to some extent. Might work for you, might not. Just play with it. Be nice to your knee. Awesome job. So if you are folding, if you're folding, come back up nice and graceful. And let's let that foot find the floor. And shake it if you need to shake it. And we'll switch sides. Shake out any way you need to shake it out. Let's switch sides. So lovely tree poses. Don't worry at all if this is you today, staying here. It's a great place to be. Stay in your tree or come for that standing half lotus. Foot to the hip, staying nice and tall. Think about lowering that knee, pointing it towards the floor if you can. Stay here. Or if you did want to play with that forward fold, you can. You kind of have to get that hip or that foot right in that hip crease to find that sweet spot where you can fold and balance. And yoga, always challenging us to put our bodies in weird positions. Nicely done, you guys. Or if you are folding, start to come back up. If you're in your tree, stay for another breath. And then let's let it go. I'm a little wobbly today. It's kind of nice. All right, you guys, shake it out, shake it out. Find your way back to the top of your mat. Roll your shoulders back and down. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant your hands. Let's step back into downward facing dog. Awesome, you guys. Take a nice big inhale here. Exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Using an inhale, look forwards. Exhale. Walk, step, jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, all the way up to standing. Exhale, your hands through heart center, down to your sides. Okay, let's take a nice wide stance, but thinking a lot about our feet. I usually tell you guys to turn your toes to point forwards. And I mean that because that's stretching our ankles. Little do we know that it's actually stretching our ankles. So if your toes easily point forwards, try to turn them in. Try to turn them in and those heels out. It's going to look really weird. Might feel weird, but that's good. Take an inhale and an exhale. Slowly tip forwards. Don't let those toes turn out, and just see how that feels. And then if you would like, you can bend one knee and straighten it. The toes are turning in a little bit or a lot, so you might not be able to bend your knee as much as you're used to, but that's okay. Just a little movement, a little play time. Add a forward fold if you want. And then we're going to come all the way back up to standing. Maybe just give those ankles a little love before you come all the way back up. Awesome, guys. Bring your back foot to the top of your mat. If you need to shake it, shake it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Awesome job, you guys. One more inhale. Exhale, knees are coming down, crossing your ankles, and sit. Legs out in front. Okay, so another opportunity for us to open up these ankles and our hips. So you can bring your left foot to your inner right thigh, or you can bring your left foot on top of your quad and as close to that right hip crease as you can get it. So we kind of dabbled with this when we were standing. Maybe this one's a little easier, maybe not. It could be a little bit more intense of a stretch because you're taking that balance component out. So let's take an inhale, no matter where your leg is. Sit tall. You can stay sitting tall, or if you want to fold forwards, you can fold forwards. Yes, your foot might be pushing into your tummy. That's perfect. Awesome job, you guys. Let's use an inhale. I'm excited to see what happens to my lotus after this. So stretch that left leg out. Right foot either to the inner thigh or up on top of the leg into that hip crease. This side's a little different for me. My right knee is quite a bit higher than on the other side, but I'm not feeling discomfort through it. So that's a good thing too. Take an inhale, sit tall. And as you exhale, if you want to tip forward, you can. And then, I didn't say this on the other side, but always being mindful of the knees. If you're feeling sharpshooting pain through the knee, you've gone a little too far. If you're feeling just a little bit of compression, not sharpshooting pain, you'd probably be okay to stay. But if you do not like it, just come back, move your foot to your inner thigh. Awesome work, you guys. So use an inhale, come back up. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. One last stretch here before we try our lotus again. So feet together, knees out wide, opening up those hips. If you want to fold forwards, you can fold. Awesome work, you guys. So using an inhale, start to come back up. All right, so once again, we're gonna try our lotus, or we're gonna try sitting cross-legged. So if you're new to sitting cross-legged and this is super uncomfortable for you, you're gonna stay here. If you're comfortable sitting cross-legged, you're gonna bring one foot to that hip crease for your half lotus. You're gonna stay here, or you're gonna try the full lotus. And yes, we've warmed up a little bit, so you might be able to go a little further than you did, but you also might not. Depends on how tight we are, how our bodies are feeling today. And then if you are feeling comfortable, I want you to close your eyes. We're just going to sit here with our legs crossed this way for a few breaths, and then we are going to switch sides. So our lovely lotus pose. Just feeling your breath. A nice stretch for the ankles and the hips. But we're also strengthening the knees in this position. By keeping a nice long spine while we're here, just helping everything kind of circulate through that low back. This pose, if you can stay nice and tall, nice long spine, can improve posture. And it can also become nice and calming for the mind if you get to a place, a comfortable place. Awesome, you guys. Let's slowly uncross our legs. If you need to shake it out a little bit, you can, but we're going to switch sides. So whatever opposite way you need to cross the legs, this might be a little awkward, or maybe the other side was awkward. We usually have one way where we sit cross-legged more often than not, finding that half lotus if you would like. And then maybe that full lotus. And I thought for a second that I didn't switch sides, but I did. So whatever you decided to do with those legs, let's find that nice long spine. Closing the eyes. And just breathe. Awesome work, you guys. If you're comfy to stay with your legs as they are, you can, but just bring your hands together in front of your heart. Relax those shoulders. Take an inhale and sit a little taller. Exhale. Awesome work today, you guys. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. I'd love to know what you thought of lotus pose. Feel free to leave a comment. But I'll see you when I see you. Namaste.